West Point Academy has now disbanded all social clubs for non-white students. Put it up full mass. Let's get into the weeds. West Point Academy disbands all social clubs for Black and other non-white students on campus, sparking obvious outrage after Trump's executive order to dismantle DEI programs within federal agencies. One of the nation's 5 military academies has ordered its cadets to disband their own clubs and organizations that specifically support non-white students on campus. Now, I want you to understand, these are organizations, student-governed, student-led, student-operated organizations, just like you would have on any other college campus in the United States of America. This has to do with students being leaders as students, okay? These are now disbanded. A memorandum verified by the Washington Post states that 12 clubs at West Point Academy must cancel all formal and informal meetings and activities. The listed clubs include the Asian Pacific Forum Club, Contemporary Cultural Affairs Seminar Club, Corbin Forum, Japanese Forum Club, Korean American Relations Seminar, the Latin Cultural Club, National Society of Black Engineers Club, a group that I work with, Native American Heritage Forum, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, Society of Women Engineers, the Spectrum Club for LGBTQ plus students, and of course, the Vietnamese American Cadet Association. These organizations not only served cadets of different ethnic backgrounds, but also connected students with community outreach programs and professional development opportunities, promoted women's leadership within the Army, provided support to the Academy's LGBTQ plus community, and offered education opportunities for every cadet on campus interested in learning about different cultures. The groups were ordered to cease all activities and remove all public-facing content. The memo also orders the Directorate of Cadet Activities to review and revalidate all of the Academy's sanctioned clubs to ensure they're in accordance with the President's executive orders and guidance from the Department of Defense and the Department of the Army. Here's the irony of this. Many of those students who are there were either recruited or influenced by those same organizations who made an intentional connection to students of a particular ethnic background. Now you get rid of the organization. You also are getting rid of the recruitment wing that brought those students to that campus, which is likely the intent. There's more. As of the 5th of February, every webpage for cadet clubs, even those that were not listed in the memo, they have been removed from West Point's website. A memo that newly appointed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued on the 29th of January states that DEI policies are incompatible with the values of the Department of Defense. He also ordered the Department of Defense to stop celebrating cultural awareness months, including Black History Month, in a guidance issued on January 31st. They are intentionally blurring the lines on this. Even if you are somehow opposed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, Why would you be opposed to a Black student connecting to the NAACP? Why would you be opposed to a Hispanic student connecting with an advocacy organization for young Hispanics? Why would you be opposed to that? Because these are elements of your free will and your constitutional rights, are they not? But they have now decided to go a step further, intentionally blurring the lines. DEI policy did not bring those student organizations to their campus. What brought those student organizations to the campus? The policy did, just the normative rule. You need to have at least one school administrator or faculty member who agrees and will sign the document and say, yes, I will support, I will supervise this particular student group. It has to pass these various campus policy protocols, and that's it. DEI did not bring them there. DEI did not create those student groups. But all of a sudden, anti-DEI sentiment through an executive order will destroy them. All right, Yasmin, we knew this was coming if Trump got his America that he wanted. So now we're responding to it. Obviously, the students are distraught. These individuals who authentically would like to serve in a greater capacity. What say you?
Yeah, well, Trump is not only getting the America that he wanted, he also got his Hegseth. And we know that Hegseth is only there to do whatever Trump wants him to do. This is all very specific too. It's a strange way to address DEI. And I just want to remind people, this is not even what DEI was originally around for. It started off as something very differently, or something very different. And then the right wing kind of overtook it and made it into this boogeyman that everybody should be afraid of, something that needs to be eradicated from all kinds of organizations, including things like the military and West Point. I already know what the argument in support of West Point will be, and it's going to be that the white students aren't allowed to have white-only organizations themselves. But this is why initiatives like DEI came about and why they were so important and protected, because marginalized groups were being marginalized. That was the idea, because they didn't have representation within greater organizations, so they had to represent themselves. People always love to say that BET was racist, but why did BET need to be a thing in the first place? Because until Michael Jackson, Black people couldn't get on MTV, so they had to do their own thing. It also should not go unmentioned that this is an academy that trains and preps future military service members. The whitewashing of the military, if that's what's actually happening here, is terrifying, specifically because we're talking about the United States military. Our military carries out all kinds of operations on foreign soil, and so many of those operations are not necessarily supported or backed by the public. A lack of diversity means that there is less understanding for others who look or sound differently, and when you extrapolate that onto a global scale, it can have deadly consequences for a lot of innocent people.
Yeah, well said. We will obviously have some updates about this. I'm looking for response from some of the students there. We shall see.